Alright, hey guys, and welcome to the first video on this channel. What we're going to be doing today is replacing these old ruckety seats in the Naughty Glass with just some newer fold swivel seats. So what we're going to be doing first is just pulling out some bolts under here so we can actually lift out the middles, and then I'm going to give these a measure, cut up some wood, and you'll see as we go along, and hopefully it looks a lot better in the end. So I'll quickly jump in, rip these out, and then we'll get going. Alright, so as you can see, we've got both seats out now. I was planning on just cutting these out, but then I thought I'd lose the storage, so I definitely want to keep these. But the first thing I have ran into is, you can see see if you pick it up on camera, they dip lower in the middle and come up higher on the ends. So when I do put the plywood across, there is going to be a gap in the middle, but I don't think it'll affect it too much. And I also don't think that any weather's going to get in there, because I'm going to silicone up the other holes in that. And I also have an idea for how I want to access these as well, so I think it's going to be all right. So I've got them both out, so all I'm going to do now is measure the sides and the ends, so we can cut my plywood to size and paint that up so we can get it ready to start putting in. So I'll quickly get the measurements now and we'll cut the plywood. Alright, so here on our plywood you can see I've marked out our sheet that's going to be sitting across there. So I'm literally just going to cut this out now, and then I'll grab our other sheet of plywood and mark around this one and just cut it the exact same. So I'm just going to cut this out now. I'll throw the phone on there, just quickly do a video cutting it out, and then we'll measure it up in the boat. Alright guys, so as you can see, if I sit it on here, we do have a bit more of a gap than I intended, and also when we do sit on it, it is going to bend down. So what I am intending to do now is I'm literally going to cut at the back, just about here, where it starts to lip back up. So then this piece will sit down and in, and this piece will sit down and in, and then I'm going to put the hinge on the back so we can open and close that to put stuff in the storage from underneath. So all I'm going to do now is mark up about here, cut them, we'll cut both of them, and then we'll sit them back in here and see how they line up. Alright guys, so as you can see, we cut it straight across there. Now we've only got a bit of gap, but that's going to be screwed down anyway. And then this is going to be our backed hinge piece. I'm not sure if I'll hinge it from underneath here or hinge it from here. I'm thinking maybe hinge it from the back so it opens up that way, or opens up that way. I'm not too sure yet, we'll suss that out. But at the moment, I've got to cut the other piece and paint these up. I'm just going to put a quick lacquer on them, and then we can actually screw them into the boat. And I'm going to put some carpet on and get the seats, whole bloody thing. And for now, I'll cut the other one and get some paint on these. Oh, I'm just going to do a quick video. I'm just putting some paint on now. I don't want to bore you with all the paint drying and everything, but this just gives it a bit more of a sealant, obviously. Stops the water getting in as much. So I'm just going to run this over it. I've already done that one. Flip the sides, and while that's happening, I'm just going to do a quick clean. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. Alright, so we've got all coats finished. We've done 2 coats, we've flipped it over, we've done both sides. Just going to let this side dry now. And then I'm going to put them in. I'm going to bolt the front in. I'm thinking I'm going to put the hinge, I'll have to leave a little bit of a gap and put the hinge on the back so it will open up towards the seat. I think that's the best way to go. We also do have a bit of rain coming, so I'm hoping that that holds off. If you also want to see a video of other stuff I've done to the boat, so I have done stuff. I've put in a new bilge pump, a bigger thing there. I've wired up lights. I've done a few other things, so I can make a video on that, but obviously it's already done. But for now, I'll let this dry. Oh, sorry, let me know if you want to see videos on that though. And I will just let these dry and get them in, bolt them up. Going to put some marine carpet on them too. And I think they're going to actually come up pretty well. So if it's something you're thinking about doing in your boat, hopefully this idea helps you. Hopefully it comes up nice, and maybe it's something you can give a try. Let it dry up and we'll throw them in. Alright, so this is a big piece of marine carpet that I had just laying around. I do want to put some in the boat, but I'm just going to lay the pieces of wood down, cut around them, and stick the marine carpet to it. So we'll do all 4 obviously. Literally all I'm going to do, because I'm not going to bore you with everything again, lay it down, cut straight down the sides, flip it over, and liquid nail it to one side. I might put a bit of a video in, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so I've cut out all the pieces to the right size. Just literally got some liquid nails. literally just going to put it on. I might do a short video of that and then stick down the marine carpet to it. If you wanted to, you can run it over the edges. I couldn't be bothered sitting there holding it, waiting for it to dry, so I just cut it perfectly square. But if that's something you choose to do, then go ahead and do it, but I just didn't feel like it. So I'll set up the phone now and we'll start gluing it on. Alright, so as you can see, I've done them two. I've got these two lined up here. So all I'm going to do now is flip it over, get my hinge on the back, and then we can bolt it into the boat. So I'm literally just going to do that. Also with your liquid nails, you might have to check your sides. Just give them a bit of a lift, unless you glue, especially if you're gluing them down. That's why I decided not to. And just squeeze a bit more in there as you need it. But for now, we'll flip it over and put the hinge on. Alright guys, this rain is coming. You can see it on the window. I've got it in, one of them in, I haven't bolted it in. But you can see how it's going to sit. Once it's bolted down, it'll be fully down in there. Plenty of room to put stuff in the back. So it's going to be perfect, and then the seat will obviously be attached on there. So I've got some nuts I'm going to put in now on the front. Hold that in, I'll quickly put them in. All I'm using is some hex screws. Tex, what are they called? Hex, yeah. I'm going to put 4 in the front for now, so I do want to try and get this video done and get at least one seat in, so I can show you guys what it will look like compared to how it was before, and the storage and everything. So I'll quickly get 4 of these in. We'll try and get a seat in before this storm hits. Alright, so I've put 4 Tex screws in this one. See, it still opens. So we have all the storage under there. Looks fine on the side. We're obviously going to put more Tex screws in. And here's kind of the finished product with him sitting doing it back up in it. So you can see it's all still down in there. Still plenty of storage to get up in there. The seats there. I wanted to be a bit higher too, because I found driving this boat was sitting too low. So I'm glad now I'm sitting up a bit higher. So I've just got to put some Tex screws in the other seat like I've done here. Which I've got the other stand here, which I might give a bit of a clean up one day, but right now I couldn't be bothered. Just got the Tex screws and literally just going to screw it in, and then we'll get a video of it done. That's right.